Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and this one really sucks, okay? This move really sucks, because to make room for Josh Wells on the roster, the Buccaneers had to place Justin Evans on the injured reserve, which means he's eligible to come back in 8 weeks. So, guys, let's talk about this. So Justin Evans has been dealing with injuries since last October. It was turf toe, it was Achilles injuries, it's basically lower leg, foot, ankle injuries, whatever it is. Justin Evans has been dealing with injuries since last October, okay? That goes without saying, be it lower leg injuries or whatever. That's what he's been dealing with, is injuries. And now it seems like it's hit a pretty critical point, considering he has been put on the injured reserve. Now, there is still a roster spot that is open right now, because the 3 transactions that the Buccaneers made today was they put Justin Evans on the injured reserve, they signed offensive tackle Josh Wells, to correspond with that move, to kind of fill in that roster spot that was left there, and then they released Caleb Benenoch. So right now, as it stands, the Buccaneers have an open roster spot, for at least for 8 weeks, until hopefully Justin Evans comes back. So it's going to be interesting to see who they're going to put in that backup safety role, and I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. But man, this just sucks, because Justin Evans, he's a young safety who, whenever we have seen him play, he has done a really good job. So, I know he's dealing with nagging injuries, and I know that can certainly affect players. I just hope that Justin Evans can take his time, come back healthy. Now, he's going to have 8 weeks to do it, if he can even come back by then. That's the hope. But hopefully he comes back healthy. We see the old Justin Evans who comes back and can be a productive starting safety for these group of guys. The defense would love to have him. Of course they would. He's a great safety from what all of us understand. From what we've all seen as Bucs fans, we all like Justin Evans. He's a good guy. He's a good player, and hopefully he can come back healthy soon. Now, talking about certain players who could replace Justin Evans and what he, on the roster, I guess I should say. And first thing I want to talk about is right now our safeties that we have left on the roster is Mike Edwards, Darian Stewart, and Jordan Whitehead. I think those are the 3 safeties that we have left. We might have one more, maybe you count MJ Stewart, but you guys can correct me down in the comment section below if I'm forgetting somebody. But the 3 names that come off the top of my head that are purely safeties is not MJ Stewart, is Darian Stewart, Mike Edwards, and then finally you have Jordan Whitehead. Those are our 3 guys right now. Who are you going to put back there as a rotational type of safety? Well, the first 2 options that you have that are on the team right now without going out and signing somebody is you have MJ Stewart and you have Dayon Buchanan. Both guys have played safety so far in this offseason and in preseason, and they could certainly fill in if they needed to. Another guy who is in the organization right now is John Battle. He is on the practice squad. That honestly might be the move, is just calling up John Battle from the practice squad is a move that I would certainly be a fan of. John Battle, one of my favorite young players on the practice squad, just even in the organization in general. I was a big fan of his in the preseason. What he did in such a short amount of time in the Buccaneers preseason in terms of coverage ability and deflecting passes, I thought was very impressive. So I think that you could use all 3 of those guys as backup safeties. MJ Stewart, Dayon Buchanan, they've had experience as safeties in this defense and in this offseason and in preseason. You could certainly put them back there if you need to. And then also you could always call up John Battle from the practice squad. I think that might honestly be the move there, is one of those 3 things. Put a lot of eggs into the basket of John Battle getting called up, because the roster spot's there, and to replace Caleb Benenoch's roster spot, it's not like it's Josh Wells. Josh Wells' roster spot was gained by putting Justin Evans on the injured reserve. So we have a free roster spot, and it could be filled up by putting John Battle on the active roster, and now maybe you put a guy like Spencer Snell, maybe you put Snelly on the practice squad, maybe you put former Bucs safety Lucas Dennis on the practice squad. There's a lot of things that you could do here. Guys, after doing some very quick research here, I have a list of some free agent safeties right now on my computer that I'm going to list off. I'm going to kind of give my thoughts on all of them. I know the big one that people are going to mention is, Eric Berry. Let's bring in Eric Berry. And I just don't see it happening still. I don't think that he fits what the Buccaneers are doing. I think they're going to kind of go for more of a backup type of guy, somebody who might fit this defense a little bit better. Not that Eric Berry wouldn't. It's just that, 1, he's probably going to command too much money, and 2, we just don't need him right now for what his price tag's worth. We're probably going to go for a little bit more of a backup safety. But one of the first guys that I do want to mention is former Miami Dolphins safety TJ McDonald. He's 28 years old. Big fan of him. Really good in the run run game. I think that he would be a very, very good fit as a rotational backup type of safety. You bring him in, you let him learn the defense a little bit, and then, you go from there. He's a guy I would be a fan of. George Iloka just recently released from the Dallas Cowboys. He's another guy who I would be a big fan of. You'd always consider a veteran like Glover Quinn. These are all guys that I think would be good. Mike Adams as well. He's a little bit up there in age, but I still think he could certainly add something to the safety room. And then also Ron Parker. He's kind of the last guy I want to mention. Ron Parker, the Buccaneers have had interest in him before, so it does make sense that they might call his number again. But ultimately, I still think it's probably going to be John Battle, but all those guys are guys that you should definitely consider. You have TJ Mcdonald, you have certain guys like Mike Adams, you have certain guys like, the veteran-y type of guys. So Ron Parker, among others. I'm blanking on some of the names I just said, but the point is that they could always call up a veteran as well.